All right, Kat, I think this is going to be a lot of fun. So BuzzFeed put together this list of extremely disappointing facts about the class of 2020.
Right.
So what would that be? The kids entering high school this year?
I believe so, yeah, because Elizabeth's class of 2017, so she's a senior this year.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, the class of 2020, they were born largely in 2002, and I believe, yeah, they're high school freshmen as of this year.
Yeah.
So, okay, prepare to feel ancient, everybody, because I've already looked through this, and I'm like, oh my goodness.
Right.
So check this stuff out. Go ahead, Kat. What have you got?
Well, 2016 marks the first year that incoming high school freshmen are going to learn about 9/11 as a historical event because they weren't alive for it.
I remember that so vividly. That
I do too.
I just can't imagine high schoolers not even being born for it yet. That's just crazy to me.
Yeah. I'm going to give you this one and let it sink in for a second. Are you ready?
Yes.
Class of 2020, this year's incoming freshmen, born the same year that Eminem dropped Lose Yourself, Avril Lavigne launched Complicated, and Nelly brought us Hot in Here.
That is just crazy.
Let that sink in.
I can't.
Lose Yourself, Complicated, and Hot in Here, all the same age as this incoming freshman.
I just can't. I can't deal with that because I remember dancing. Those songs were.
Oh, and Vanessa Carlton, 1,000 Miles.
Oh, you know I love that song. Hold on, I'll play that one in a second here. But I remember like those songs were like even too new for my prom.
Right.
Like my prom didn't even have Hot in Here because that wasn't even out yet. That came out later that summer. Holy cow! I can't deal with this morning, Kat.
They were also born in the first of the year. They were born the same year as the first Spider-Man movie.
I saw that in the movie theater with my friend Brett. I can't get over this.
But wait, there's more. Also the same year as Lord of the Rings, Lilo and Stitch, Scooby-Doo the movie, Chicago, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, Ice Age, 8 Mile, Catch Me If You Can, The Ring, Signs, Drumline.
I'm going to pass out.
All those movies came out
like,
the year that this year's incoming high school freshmen were born.
Like when you said 8 Mile, I can't deal with that. I can't deal with them being younger than 8 Mile.
Oh, yeah. And Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears, they broke up the same year, too.
What?
Sorry.
That was like one of the biggest moments of my teenage years.
And also the second Harry Potter movie came out that year. And they lived in a world where an iPod was a legitimate, or we live in a world where an iPod is now a legitimate artifact.
I can tell you I never had a definitive brand name iPod. But it is because those came out when I was in high school.
Yes.
I can't deal with this right now. This is too much all at once.
It is a lot.
But brace yourself because there's more.
Nintendo 64 is history. Somebody sent their sister a picture of a Nintendo 64 in a museum in Florida.
I've seen one in the museum, but I've been to the Nintendo World Store in Times Square. And so, of course, they have a whole museum dedicated to all those games. But
also, your old flip phones and digital cameras were on display during the field trips in the museum too.
What, Kat?
It's old technology.
I remember when I got my first flip phone, I felt so modern because I could flip my phone shut.
Well, while we're talking about that,
Felicia.
Bye, Felicia. While we're talking about that, this year's incoming high school freshmen have always had a full keyboard for texting. They've never known the press 2-3 times to get to the C.
These little brats. They don't know the struggle.
No, they don't know the struggle.
They don't even relate to this.
They've never lived in a world with a monthly text limit either, where you paid per text.
I remember the mental anguish of asking myself if this text was important enough to send because my mom was going to get charged a dime.
Do you remember accidentally hitting that internet button on your phone and then you're like, no, because you didn't want to have to pay for it?
Yeah. And again, I was still in like college. So like mom would have gotten that bill if that web browser would have connected.
Right. I can tell you with 100% confidence that I have MP3s that are older than this year's incoming freshmen.
Hold on, let me think. I started downloading MP3s.
And I don't know if I bought them or if they came from LimeWire.
Oh, I wasn't buying them in 2001, but I started downloading them in 2001.
Sure. LimeWire, and I think it was it BearShare maybe? There was another one. I can't remember.
I use Morpheus. was what I used, but I don't know. There was Kazaa.
I didn't use that one.
You didn't use Kazaa?
Mm-mm.
Or, it was Kazaa and Morpheus, I guess, were the two big ones that I used.
This year's incoming high school freshman born the same year as Kim Possible, and that's So Raven. Also means that they're younger than Lizzie McGuire, The Proud Family, Totally Spies, The Fairly Odd Parents, and Adult Swim.
I consider like some of those shows to be like modern.
The Krusty Krab and Krusty Krab Pizza already been around for 3 years by the time this year's high school freshmen were born.
Oh my God. Those are from SpongeBob, right?
Yeah. You can pretty well bet that they have no idea who Ashanti is.
Why not? Know who Ashanti is. That should be taught in school.
Class of 2020 has lived in a world that has always had Wi-Fi. So they've never had to go through the internet struggle of, hearing dial-up tones or getting kicked off because somebody did something with the phone. They've always lived in a world that had Wikipedia and Google.
Oh my gosh, we had to use encyclopedias.
Yeah.
And like card catalogs. Oh, you have no idea, kids, how blessed you are. That stupid Dewey Decimal System and that awful smelling card catalog. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness.
Do you know when you go to click and save like your document and you click the little floppy disk in the corner?
Yeah.
Most of this year's incoming freshmen have not a clue what they're clicking. They just know that's the thing you click to save. They don't know that it's a floppy disk or what a floppy disk is for.
Yeah, I wonder, has your daughter ever used a floppy disk, do you think? Like, she probably knows what it is, but do you think she's ever used one?
Probably.
You think?
Probably, but maybe not.
I don't know.
Maybe not, because I've been using thumb drives and external hard drives for a really long time, since she was probably 5.
I mean, I bet you when she was in school, the PCs they had there probably didn't take those 3.5-inch floppies.
Yeah, I don't think they did. I don't know if she's ever used one. That's a very valid question.
And I remember like they
She's of course not an incoming freshman. She's a senior this year.
Yeah, right. So I remember when those were put on like our list of things you had to buy for your school.
Sure.
I remember feeling like so cool, like, oh man, we're gonna be using computers so much, we have to save them on these discs, like. And now
that's because one page of your homework fit on a disc.
You could save like 10 or so Word documents on a hard disk.
I was kidding.
Or floppy disk or whatever they're called.
Grand Theft Auto Vice City came out the same year that this year's incoming high school freshmen were born.
Yeah, I remember playing that game in college.
Oh, God. This pains me.
Go ahead. Say it, Kat.
Sum 41 is considered classic rock to this year's incoming freshman.
I'm sorry to hear
My
that.
heart just broke. Like, I can't even tell you how sick to my stomach I am right now. Oh, my God.
Like, classic rock to me is Led Zeppelin. It's Pink Floyd.
Some D-bag tweeted classic rock is the best. At Sum 41 brings back all the feels with Fat Lip. No.
Right, now hold on.
Just no.
Fat Lip came out 15 years ago, it says.
Yeah.
Although I consider classic rock a little, like, you gotta be at least 20 years old, I feel like.
Be at least 20. But apparently somebody's considering Sum 41 Fat Lip classic rock. That's just no.
Well, to them, it's the song that came out when they were 4. I mean, like, for me, that's a song that came out in 1987. That's Mykals' Bad album.
All right, do you want the rundown on the track list for Now That's What I Call Music that came out the year just before this year's incoming freshmen were born?
So all these songs that Kat's about to mention, older than incoming freshmen.
Older than incoming freshmen. Bootylicious.
Bootylicious.
Pop.
From NSYNC?
NSYNC. I'm Real from J-Lo.
This song here. I can't believe that. I mean, this was in college to me.
Stutter from Joe and Mystical. Someone to Call My Lover, Janet Jackson. AM to PM, Christina Milian. A Little Bit, Jessica Simpson. Crush, Mandy Moore. Rock the Boat from Aaliyah. You Got It Bad, Usher. More Than That, Backstreet Boys. Clint Eastwood from Gorillaz. Start the Commotion, The Wise Guys.
This is not okay.
Me, Myself, and I, Jive Jones. I'm a Believer from Smash Mouth. Fat Lip from Sum 41. The Rock Show from Blink 182. Bad Day from Fuel. Be Like That from Three Doors Down. And Walk On from U2.
This just isn't all right. Keep going. I just want to take like a shot. Just get it over with.
Let's see. They will never, ever have to print out directions and experience the trouble of getting lost and being completely screwed because you didn't have a phone you could whip out and tell you where to go.
I remember feeling modern because when I started driving, we had MapQuest. And I could plan my trip and print out the directions turn by turn.
Sure.
Whereas my parents' generation had to use a map. So I felt cool. Little did I know the world was about to be rocked by a little thing called a GPS, and it'd be on us at all times.
Right.
Holy cow.
How about they've never known the satisfaction of turning the wheel on a disposable camera. You turn it until it clicks, and then you can take the next picture. Or taking the thing in and getting it developed.
Yeah, I mean, to them, it's always been in their pocket. They've always had one. Mm-hmm. Always had a phone. They never
and
had to get...
it's been digital.
Yeah.
They didn't have to worry about taking pictures and then getting the pictures and going, oh, these are all crap. I got one good picture out of 36.
There's 2 more that have to do with the phone, then we'll wrap up.
How about the satisfaction of slamming the phone down?
They'll never really, I mean...
They don't know why we hang up a phone.
Yeah, why is it called hang up? Don't you just turn it off? Don't you push a button?
You push a button.
Yeah.
No, you used to have to hang it up. It hung on the wall
and
on a hanger.
That's what the big assumption that these kids are even making phone calls in the first place.
Oh, dear sweet mother of God.
The last one? Poor cat. Go ahead. Just say it and get it over with so we can get to news and just be done with this.
Hashtags. Because, and I quote, LOL just found a phone from the 90s with a hashtag. Twitter wasn't even invented then. Why did they need a hashtag back then? And there's one comment, LOL, what? That's weird. You idiots. It's a pound sign.
It is. It's a pound sign. And sometimes you would need to use it for like, I guess entering stuff on like the keypad.
Sure.
I never really used it that much on the old phones.
Well, sometimes you call phone numbers and you have to enter things and then follow them with a pound symbol to acknowledge to the automation that you're finished entering what you're entering.
Or as you brats call it, a hashtag.